Most guys don't lose muscle after 40 because they're too old. They lose it because they're training like they're still 25. Let's get something straight. Your body didn't betray you. You just never learned how to train the new version of you. You've been grinding in the gym. You clean up your diet. You even try to sleep better. But the results? Slower. The muscle? Not sticking. And the worst part? It's not like you're doing nothing. You're doing everything you used to do. And that is the problem. See, your body after 40 doesn't follow the same rules anymore. Your testosterone has shifted. Your muscles don't respond to protein the same way. Your recovery time has stretched. But nobody told you that, did they? Instead, you're stuck doing the same bro split, eating the same meals, resting the same 1 minute between sets, waiting for gains that never come. But here's what changed everything for me, and for hundreds of guys I've helped over the years. Muscle growth after 40 isn't just possible, it can actually be better. If you know the science behind how your body evolves and how to train with it, not against it. There are 8 key shifts that every man over 40 needs to make if he wants to keep building real muscle. Not just maintaining, not just looking okay for your age. I'm talking size, definition, strength. That look that still turns heads when you walk in the room. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where to adjust and why everything you've been doing might be holding you back. This isn't about motivation. It's about upgrading your method. Because if you're still following a playbook written for 20-year-olds, you'll keep getting 20-year-old mistakes with 40-year-old consequences. If this is already hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next might just change the way you train forever. 1. Anabolic resistance, the hidden wall blocking your gains. Let's talk about the silent killer of muscle growth after 40, anabolic resistance. It's like your muscles develop selective hearing. Back in your 20s, one solid workout and a protein shake were enough to send the message, "Hey, grow!" Now, that same message barely gets through. But here's the thing. This doesn't mean you can't build muscle anymore. It means you need to speak louder. And in training terms, that means more volume, not just random sets and reps. We're talking about smart volume, strategic increases in total work over time. There's a study from 2012 that proves this clearly. Older lifters doubled their sets and saw a 110% increase in muscle protein synthesis. That's more than double the response compared to younger guys who did the same thing. Translation? Your body can still grow. It just needs more stimulation to get the job done. But don't fall into the trap of going all in overnight. You're not trying to kill yourself in the gym. You're trying to outsmart biology. Start by adding 1 extra set per compound lift. Stick with it for a few weeks. Track how your body responds. Then layer in more, slowly. And always prioritize compound movements, squats, deadlifts, bench press, rows. These are your heavy hitters. Think of it like upgrading your software. You're not changing the whole system, just optimizing the commands. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. 2. Rest longer to grow bigger. Here's where most people screw it up. They try to keep their workouts hardcore by rushing through sets. You know the drill. 1 minute rest, maybe less. Feels intense, right? But if you're over 40, that's not intensity. That's sabotage. Science is crystal clear on this one. 3 to 5 minutes of rest between heavy sets leads to more muscle growth than short rest intervals. Why? Because when you rest longer, you recover better. And when you recover better, you can lift heavier on the next set. That's what builds muscle. Imagine doing 3 sets of squats. With 1 minute rest, by set 2 or 3, you're gasping, your form breaks down, and the bar feels 10 times heavier. But with 3 minutes, you come back fresh, strong, and ready to push serious weight. And the older you get, the more this matters. Your recovery isn't what it used to be. Your muscles need more time to refill phosphocreatine stores, the fuel for high-effort lifts. Think of it like charging your phone. You wouldn't yank it off the charger at 10% and expect it to last all day. Same with your sets. Give your body time to reload. For big lifts like squats and bench, aim for 3 to 5 minutes. For isolation, work like curls or triceps. 2 to 3 minutes does the trick. And no, you're not wasting time. You're investing in quality over quantity. More reps with light weight won't outwork fewer reps with real intensity. But what's coming next? That's where everything changes. 3. Testosterone, the silent power behind every rep. Most guys over 40 think they're slowing down because of age. They blame the fatigue, the sluggish recovery, the softer muscle, on getting older. But here's the truth. It's not your age, it's your hormones. Specifically, testosterone. After you hit 30, your T levels start dropping, about 1% per year. By 40, that could be 10 to 15% lower than what you had at your peak. That drop hits everything. Your strength, your drive, your ability to recover, even your mood. And here's the crazy part. Most guys have no idea. They're walking around tired, frustrated, stuck, thinking it's just part of getting older, when in reality, they're running on low power without even realizing it. First step, get tested. Don't guess. Don't Google symptoms. Go get your blood work done and find out your actual testosterone levels. Total T, free T, SHBG. Get the full picture. Now listen, just because you're in the normal range doesn't mean you're in a good place. If you're sitting at 300 nring DL, you're technically normal. But for you, that could be way too low. Some guys feel amazing at 800. Others feel like zombies at 400. This is personal. Once you know your numbers, it's time to optimize naturally. Start with your diet and forget the low-fat nonsense. Your hormones are built from fats: egg yolks, avocados, olive oil, fatty fish. This is the stuff that fuels testosterone production. Diets with less than 20% fat? Testosterone crashes. Period. Next up, sleep. This one's non-negotiable. 1 week of 5-hour nights can drop your T levels by 15%. That's like aging a decade in 7 days. You need 7 to 9 solid hours. No screens, no scrolling, no excuses. Then there's stress. High cortisol, fratufir, san, sakritur, low testosterone. Whether it's work, life, or even overtraining, it eats away at your hormones. Manage it. Recover properly. Take rest days seriously. And no, you don't need magic pills. You need real habits. Heavy compound lifts, protein-rich meals, mental space, deep recovery. You'll know it's working when you feel more you again. Stronger, sharper, hungrier for the weights. That's when training actually starts paying off again. But now that your hormonal engine is firing on all cylinders, let's talk about the tools that can push your results even further. 4. Supplements that actually matter, and the ones you can skip. Let's cut the crap. Most guys over 40 are wasting money on supplements that do absolutely nothing. Powders, pills, test boosters, all promising miracles. But when it comes to real hypertrophy, only a few are actually worth your time. So let's zero in on the ones that work, backed by decades of research. Number 1. Creatine. This isn't just some fitness fad. It's the most studied supplement in the world. What does it do? It increases your phosphocreatine stores, which means more explosive reps, more strength, and better recovery between sets. You're not just lifting heavier, you're recovering faster during the workout. That adds up to more total volume, better quality sets, and more muscle. Dosage? 3 to 5 grams per day, every day. Doesn't matter if you train that day or not. This isn't a pre-workout. It's a long-game strategy. Let it build up. The results will follow. Number 2. Vitamin D. Here's the crazy part. Around 60% of men over 40 are deficient. And if your D levels are low, your testosterone takes a hit, your recovery slows, and your immune system weakens. Low D means low performance, period. Dose? Most guys benefit from 5,000 IU per day, taken with a meal that has fat, helps absorption. But again, blood work is your friend here. Check your levels. Don't guess. Number 3. Magnesium. This one's all about recovery and sleep. Magnesium helps regulate cortisol, improves sleep quality, supports nervous system function. All things your body needs to grow, especially now, when recovery is everything. Recommended dose? Between 200 to 400 milligrams daily, preferably at night. Take it before bed, and you'll feel the difference. Deeper sleep, better next day energy, faster recovery. And finally, let's talk about protein powder, specifically whey. Is it essential? No. But is it convenient? Absolutely. If you're struggling to hit your daily protein target with food, a shake or two can bridge the gap. But don't think whey builds muscle on its own. It's just a tool, not a magic bullet. Here's where most guys go wrong. They take all the right supplements, but they ignore the basics. They eat like crap, sleep like crap, train inconsistently, and no supplement can fix that. Think of supplements like the cherry on top of a solid plan. Dial in your training, nutrition, and sleep first. Then, and only then, let these few proven tools take you further. Now that you've got your hormones in check and your supplements working for you, let's talk about how to structure your week for maximum growth. 5. Train each muscle twice a week. Here's why it works. If you're still training chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, you're leaving gains on the table. That one body part per day split? It's old school. And for men over 40? It's inefficient as hell. Here's why. When you hit a muscle group, your body spikes muscle protein synthesis, the process that builds new tissue. But that spike only lasts about 24 to 36 hours. After that, your body goes back to baseline. No more growth. So if you train chest on Monday and wait a full week to hit it again, that's 5 or 6 days of zero growth. Wasted time. But when you train each muscle twice a week, you create 2 windows for growth instead of 1. You're not just adding more volume, you're spreading it out smarter. More recovery, more quality, more results. And for guys over 40, this is gold. Why? Because your recovery isn't bulletproof anymore. You can't blast one muscle with 18 sets and expect to bounce back in 48 hours. You'll be sore, stiff, and flatlining the rest of the week. Instead, divide and conquer. Take the same weekly volume, let's say 12 sets for chest, and split it into 2 sessions of 6 sets. You'll perform better, recover faster, and stimulate more growth over time. Training full body 3 times a week? Perfect. Upper-lower 4 times a week? Also great. Push, cheat, pull, legs 6 days a week? Even better, if you can recover from it. The key isn't the split, it's the frequency. A common myth? That training more often means training harder. Wrong. You're just distributing the same effort across more days, which gives your joints, nervous system, and muscles less overload per session, but more overall stimulus. And the real magic? You'll be stronger in your second session, more focused, less wrecked, better technique, better intensity, better execution. Because at this stage, it's not about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about stimulating without annihilating. And speaking of quality, there's one key element that most men completely overlook, and it's costing them real results every single week. 6. Mobility isn't optional anymore. It's a muscle-building tool. In your 20s, you could skip warm-ups, half-rep everything, and still walk out of the gym feeling fine. But after 40, that same approach will leave you tight, sore, or straight-up injured. Here's what most guys don't get. Mobility isn't about being flexible. It's about being able to move through a full range of motion with strength and control. And when you can't do that, your lifts suffer, your gains shrink, and your risk of injury skyrockets. Every joint in your body, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, gets stiffer with age. Not overnight, but year by year. And if you don't address it, you'll reach a point where your body starts saying no, and you'll have no choice but to listen. The truth is, poor mobility equals limited muscle stimulus. Can't hit depth on squats? You're leaving glute and quad gains behind. Struggling to overhead press without arching your back? You're not hitting your delts. You're just asking for back pain. But here's the good news. You can reverse it. One of the most effective tools? End-range isometrics. Think of them as active stretches under tension, like pausing at the bottom of a deep squat and holding it. You're not just stretching. You're teaching your body to be strong in its weakest, most vulnerable positions. 10 to 15 minutes of focused mobility work before each training session is a game changer. Target the joints you're about to use. Hips and ankles for leg day, shoulders and thoracic spine for upper body. You'll lift better, recover faster, and actually feel smoother moving through each rep. And here's the wild part. In just 2 to 3 weeks, most guys notice a big difference. Better depth, better control, less pain. But don't treat mobility like a warm-up checklist. It's part of the training. It's what makes the rest of your workout work better. So stop skipping it. Respect it. Train it. Because the more mobile you are, the more muscle you can actually build. And now that your body can move properly again, it's time to feed it what it needs to grow. 7. Eat more protein and do it right. This might sting a little, but if you're over 40 and still eating like you did at 25, you're probably under-eating protein by a mile. And that one habit? It's killing your muscle gains. See, as you age, your body develops what's called anabolic resistance, which basically means your muscles don't respond to protein like they used to. At 20 grams of protein per meal might have been enough to stimulate growth. Now, you need almost double that just to get the same effect. And that's not theory. It's backed by research. Studies show that men over 40 need 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein in every meal to maximize muscle protein synthesis. Not just after workouts. Every meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of it counts. So if you're still grabbing a coffee and toast in the morning, then trying to make up for it with a huge dinner, you're losing muscle. Every day. Slowly, silently. The solution? Spread your protein intake across 4 to 5 meals per day. Each meal, Aim for 30 to 40 grams. That could be a chicken breast, a couple of eggs with Greek yogurt, a shake with a scoop and a half of whey, whatever fits your day. And don't forget hydration. More protein, more work for your kidneys and digestive system. Drink more water. Sounds simple, but it's one of the most overlooked keys to making higher protein diets actually work. Here's how you know you're doing it right. Your recovery improves. Your strength goes up. You stop feeling wrecked after every session. And when you dial this in, your training finally starts paying off again, consistently. Because no matter how hard you lift, if your body isn't getting the building blocks, it can't grow. But even with the right nutrition, there's one final switch you must make to actually unlock real hypertrophy after 40. 8. Train with real effort. Not just routine. Let's be brutally honest. Most guys over 40 are going through the motions in the gym. They think they're training hard, but they're really just lifting until it gets uncomfortable, then stopping. And that's the reason their muscles stopped growing. You want to know what the research shows? Most lifters underestimate their capacity by 30%, meaning you could probably squeeze out 3, maybe 4 more reps in every set. But you don't. Why? Because comfort kicks in. Because you hit your target rep range. Because it burns, and you assume that's good enough. But here's the deal. After 40, your hormones aren't doing the heavy lifting anymore. You can't coast on high testosterone and youthful recovery. You have to compensate with smarter, higher effort training. That doesn't mean destroying yourself every session. It doesn't mean going to failure on every set. What it means is knowing the difference between effort and exhaustion. You want to train with intentional intensity. That means stopping your sets when you're 1 or 2 reps away from true failure, not 5 or 6. You still have gas in the tank, but the engine's starting to sputter. That's the sweet spot for hypertrophy. A great tool, use the RIR, reps in reserve, or RPE, rate of perceived exertion method. For your main lifts, aim for an RPE of 8 to 9, meaning you could only do 1 more clean rep. Not 10, not 5, 1. That level of effort gives you maximum stimulus without trashing your recovery. Because you're not trying to win today's workout, you're trying to win every week, every month, every year from now on. And when you stack smart volume, full recovery, clean nutrition, real effort, and hormonal support, that's how you beat time. That's how you build a physique in your 40s that crushes what you had in your 20s. You're not past your prime. You just haven't seen your prime yet. You made it to the end, and that already sets you apart. Most guys hit 40 and just accept the decline. But you're here, learning how to rebuild, refocus, and reignite. And now you know the truth. Muscle after 40 isn't about luck, genetics, or chasing your younger self. It's about training smarter, recovering harder, and refusing to settle. Testosterone can be optimized. Protein can be dialed in. Mobility can be restored. Intensity can be recalibrated. And your body? It can still grow, if you give it what it actually needs. So stop following the old rules. Stop waiting for results from strategies that stopped working a decade ago. You're not done. You're just getting started. With the right tools this time. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear from you. And listen, if this video gave you at least one aha moment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. I've got more content coming that'll help you train smarter, grow stronger, and stay sharp for decades to come.